Second tease. 30. We got a tornado. Hey AJ, you got me? Tornado warning right now, so we may toss to you though, and if you just want to hey, it's coming down here still. We are waiting on. They're not letting us out of the building. There's some shelter in place. Probably like a minute away.
I was approaching Baltimore, they really ramped up. And I was right under that couplet, that area of rotation, just as that tornado warning got triggered. What I was able to see in the very difficult terrain, and of course, it is not easy to spot storms like this in Maryland, but I could easily see a very sharp-edged shelf cloud, not a wall cloud, but a shelf cloud. But right underneath that, it turned teal green. And as you know, that can be kind of a strange indication, but it can be an indication of either severe weather, but especially hail. And then the winds picked up very dramatically for a very short period of time, probably gusting over 50 miles an hour. And again, that system continued straight into downtown Baltimore, where I lost sight of it, unfortunately. But again, the storm picked up an amazing amount of strength in just about 10 to 15 minutes as I was approaching just around between I-695 around the Beltway, and then going straight into Baltimore. So it really impressively intensified going straight in. Now, obviously, you've got the tornado warnings to talk about, and I know they're going to continue to track that way, and there has been rotation. I did not see any damage along my path that was indicative of anything tornadic. That's the good news, but there were some impressive wind gusts along the way going down I-70 with very slow-moving traffic.
Yeah, and something you mentioned is some of that heavy rain making things kind of hard to see, and this is a situation where no one should be going outside and trying to see any rotation. It's also going to be hard to see with that heavy rain. Of course, this could be something that is rain wrapped, but I do want to mention we have a new tornado warning in place for some of those areas that I did mention, including Dundalk and Edgemere, that goes through 6:30 p.m. So we'll be tracking the potential for some rotation there. And what we're seeing is a little bit of that red and green coupling. That gives us a good indication of some rotation. And that's right on the edge of that second tornado warning. So just to the west of Dundalk, seeing a little bit of that red and green coupled together. Now again, this storm system will keep moving to the east. It's moving at about 40 miles per hour to the east. Hail possible, but the biggest concern is that rotation. We've also been having those reports of damaging wind gusts. You're taking a look, I think, from one of our cars on the roads. Just heavy rain moving down now. That's going to be the case over the next hour or so as we keep tracking these systems. So we have two tornado warnings in place. The first for Baltimore City. That goes through 6:15 p.m. The second goes through 6:30 p.m. Seeing some of that coupling right near Dundalk. If you do live within these two boxes, you want to make sure you're finding immediate shelter. The biggest thing is to put as many walls between you and outside as possible. That could mean finding a basement. That's the best place to be. If you don't have a basement, try finding somewhere like a bathroom with no windows or a closet with no windows. What you want to do is find that shelter immediately because the rain and the storms are already here. They're moving across the state, and that threat for heavy rain and potential rotation is there. So taking a look at our HD radar, and we're going to take a look at some of that heavy rain keeping on moving to the east over Baltimore and toward the Dundalk area. And Gerard, you're still online. So what area are you in? Where have you been seeing some of that heavy rain and the storms?
Well, I just actually am on 83. I'm passing Cold Spring Lane, not far from TV Hill. So I'm in just pouring rain. The winds are very light on this side, but there's evidence that there were some very gusty winds. There's a lot of small debris all over the sides of the road. Traffic moving slowly as you'd expect it. The rain is pretty torrential. I'm sure you're hearing it. The lightning's been very impressive. A lot of cloud-to-ground lightning. So this is some impressive severe weather, which is exactly what we were forecasting today. The one thing that you and I were discussing yesterday is the timing, which was so difficult to pinpoint today. But now that we know after this morning's storms were very small and they didn't cover a lot, we knew the atmosphere was primed to do just this. And I know there were some scary
Yeah, and something else I want to mention, we did have a few breaks in the clouds earlier today. We had a good bit of sunshine, and of course when we do have sunshine, it provides heating, it provides that fuel for the system, and we're seeing the impacts of that now. We have a new tornado warning.